legs together, the Uttanasana. So here, we are going to stay in that pose again for much longer. So here we'll keep the feet together or hip distance apart. Arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, dive down from the waist. You can keep your knees bent quite a bit. You can hold both the elbows, rock yourself side to side. Just hang yourself loose. It's very important to stay in these poses for a little bit longer. Plant your hands down. Take your feet a little bit wider. We're going to sit down in Malasana because that's an easy way to go towards the down pose. So from here, let's go into Malasana. Now in Malasana, we're going to try to keep the back as straight as it can be. If you cannot plant your heels down, you can be on tippy toes. So start there. It's just a matter of being tight. So as much as possible, keep your back straight. Matter of being tight. So as much as possible, keep your back straight. And with that, put your hands back and let's sit down. Let's sit down in comfortable pose. You can keep your feet, tucked in, or you can keep it loose, whatever is available to you today. We're going to do some side bend because we do have these sinuses, so we want to make sure these maxillary sinuses are getting drained. So inhale, right arm up. Exhale, hold the head, and let's do a gentle bend to the right. Inhale, release yourself. Let's do it on the other side. Inhale, left arm overhead. Exhale, hold your head, and let's bend in towards the left. Exhale, inhale, release yourself. Let's take the feet forward. So Paschimottanasana or seated forward bend is as good. So how do you do this? So, the moment we put the legs up, the back wants to bend. Push your hips back into the socket. And so we're kind of sitting forward a little bit. Maybe at this point, I can bring the computer a little forward. Oh, maybe it's too. Okay. So here, I'm going to scoot my butt into the socket. So I'm kind of sitting forward. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, let's again bend your knees quite a bit. And let's go down a little bit. Now in this pose, because we are also trying to get the sinuses, once you reach a comfortable spot, let's take your head down and just go into relax the head down. Inhale, come on up. Next, we will bend the right knee and put the right foot against the against the left thigh. So now this is facing forward. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, let's bend forward. Keep your head relaxed. So if you're having these poses can be done even on the days when you have a cold. So it's not just allergy, but any kind of sinus infections. Inhale, come on up. Let's do it on the other side. Right leg straight, left leg bent. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Let your head hang loose. Bend your knee if you have to, whatever makes you comfortable. Don't overdo, don't overstretch. Yoga means union of you to yourself. So find your comfort level. No asana should be hurting you. You can feel a stretch, but it should be actually a comfortable asana. Inhale, come on up. Let's take our hands to the back. We're going to take just the chest forward. So also when we are cold, our chest needs to be opened up too. So we'll take an inhale and open your chest up to the ceiling. So drop your shoulder, open your chest to the ceiling. Exhale, release yourself, hug yourself, give yourself a nice squeeze. Take your forehead to your knees and just curl into a ball. Let's do some laying down poses. So these are some of the sitting poses you can do. Now in the laying down poses, the couple you can do, one is the bridge pose is really good because again you are wanting the leg higher up, bringing more circulation to this area actually. So the feet is planted firmly. You can bring the feet further in so that your hands are kind of touching the heels. Relax your shoulders. Tuck your chin in so you're not like overextending your neck. Chin is tucked in. Inhale and tuck your tailbone. So I'm kind of taking the tailbone in, my back gets flat. Exhale, raise your butt off the mat. Don't squeeze your glutes, just raise it up as much as you can. Push the feet in that direction away from you. You can even clasp your hands underneath. See if your knees shouldn't go farther apart. Just keep your knees where they are. Exhale, one vertebra at a time. Let's come down. Bring your knees to the chest and hug yourself. Always a counter pose. So in yoga, actually in every exercise, even if you go to the gym, you should always do a counter pose. Because we don't do counter poses, that's why we have injuries. So in yoga too, always a counter pose. Now the other one that is really good is Viparit Karni. The Viparit Karni, there are multiple ways to do it, but we will do one against the wall. So if you have a wall at your home, we'll put the legs up against the wall and just, so what we do is we bring the butt as close to the wall as possible. So you're going to be laying down. I'm going to bring the butt as close to the wall. And then I'm just going to take my feet up. And in this position, You can lay down even from anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. So causing Viparit Karni is a very good pose for sinus congestion and also for general relaxation. So keep your feet up. We are not, of course, going to do for 3 to 5 minutes. Relax your shoulder. Take just a few deep breaths in and out. And then release yourself. Let's come back to the mat. Let's do a couple poses on all fours. So let's come to all fours. Here we can keep the feet flat, or you can curl the toes. It depends on you. We're going to do just a couple of cat-cow. So inhale, let's bring the chest forward, drop your tummy, look up. Exhale, just round the back. Inhale again, drop your tummy, chest forward. Exhale and round your back. Come back to the middle. Let's do this. We're going to do the thread the needle. The thread the needle is really good for, again, your maxillary sinuses. Inhale, left arm overhead. Exhale, thread the needle. Place your left cheek or left head on the mat and just extend. So it's not just causing you to have a scapular stretch or upper back, but it's a great pose for your sinuses. It helps drain the sinuses. Let's unwind ourselves. Inhale, let's take the head up again. And exhale, plant your left hand down. Inhale, right arm overhead. Exhale, let's thread the needle on the right side, plant it down. Arm overhead. Exhale, let's thread the needle on the right side, plant it down. Arm overhead. Inhale, unwind yourself, take the right arm overhead, and let's put our hands down. The only pose then we are left with, I wrote down some of the poses, but the only pose, I don't want to do one, is the halasana and the shoulder stand and the camel pose. Now for the camel pose, if you can do it, you do it. If you cannot, that's fine. There are multiple ways to do a camel pose. This is again about a chest opening. So if you have a chair behind you, you can always just go behind and hold on to something in the back and open up your chest. So this, basically we're trying to open up the chest. So you can take a chair and really use this pose. This could be the beginning camel pose. So you're opening up the chest. Those who want to try the camel pose, you can, and don't want to use something, you can just go behind, hold behind, and just do here. Or when it's available, you can take one hand to your heels and just stay there, if that's what's available. If available, you can take both hands to the heel chest raised up. Your chest really opens up in this pose. Inhale, come on up. Let's go into child pose. Again, we have to do a counter pose. Child pose is one of the very good poses for sinus congestion. So if you are waking up and you're congested, just go into child pose. Get up from your pillow and go into child pose right on the bed if you want to. Let it all drain out in the other direction. So when you're laying down, it's all draining towards the back of the throat. Instead, this will help you a lot. The child pose is a good pose for your sinus congestion. Inhale, come on up. I'm going to make sure my time I'm doing good here. So now we will do the shoulder stand. You can do it in multiple ways. Those who have never done it, you want to try it slow. I took a while to learn it, so it all depends on what your capabilities are. But basically what you're going to do is, suppose you can be flat, your feet can be flat, your feet can be bent. You're going to lift your butt off, use the support of your hands, bring your knees to your forehead, hold behind in your back, and then just simply gradually straighten the leg. Now initially, if this is what is you can read, just stay there. Even this is good because you're bringing the circulation forward. If you start raising up and your back is locked in, that's fine. Eventually, you're just going to try to straighten the leg, and your body is going to be very different. Everybody is different, so don't push yourself. Don't think there is an ideal way because you might hurt yourself. So wherever you are today, just do that much. Like today, I can't seem to do very straight. That's okay. Just do where you are. And then gradually, if available, you can take one leg back, you can take both legs back. And so this is the Halasana. You can even bend both your knees here. Keep your hands down if you want to, or straighten the legs. You can even cycle your legs here. Basically, this is a good pose for your sinus congestion. And if you cannot do it, that's fine. You start slow and gradually, one vertebra at a time, you bring yourself back to the floor. So from child pose to Surya Namaskar to forward bend, these are primarily all kind of forward bends and chest openers are the poses that one can do for sinus congestion and sinus allergies. Now let's get to some of the pranayama, because as we know, yoga has 8 limbs. The first limb is yama, then niyama, and then you have the asana. So we just did some asana, and now we will do some pranayama. For pranayama, you can sit either in this pose, the hero's pose, Vajrasana. So you can sit like this, or you can sit in your regular pose that you want to. Actually, I should go back a little bit. So you can sit like this, you can take your legs forward. I like to sit a lot of time with a little pillow in my back, and that helps me. The 3 asanas that I want to talk about today, which help with sinus infections and sinus allergies, is actually for allergies, one of the best ones is Anulom Vilom, or the alternate nostril breathing. different people will call it differently, but Anulom Vilom, you can do that. That is one of the best ones. I've seen great results with that, and a lot of people who do it regularly. So the other one is Kapalabhati, and the third one is Bhastrika. So really the three that I wanted to talk about today are Kapalabhati, Bhastrika, and Anulom Vilom. So let's do Anulom Vilom first. If you cannot do anything, every morning get up and do 10 Anulom Viloms. Now, when you do Anulom Vilom, there are 4 parts to it. So there is the inhalation phase, there is the holding phase, so it's called the inhalation, then the kumbhak, which is the holding phase, then the exhalation phase, and then again the kumbhak phase. So antar kumbhak, baya kumbhak. So it's like inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Then doing the opposite direction, right nostril, inhale, hold, exhale, left nostril, hold. So when you have allergies, hold becomes a problem. So let's not worry about the hold when we are having actual symptoms. Anulom Vilom in the full capacity will develop once your allergy starts clearing up. So in the beginning, all you will do is inhale from left, exhale from right. Inhale from right, exhale from left. So let's do 10 rounds of those. You use your right thumb to press on the right nostril. These middle two, the index and the middle finger, you can keep it curled or you can put it in the middle of the forehead. The ring finger is what you will use to close the left nostril when you're breathing through the right one. So let's do it. I'm going to keep it closed so you can see it. So let's close the right nostril. Inhale through the left. Close the left. Exhale to the right. Inhale through the right. Close the right. Exhale through the left. We're going to try to do as long an inhale as you can do. When we have allergies, usually one nostril is blocked, so one side you may not be as open. It's okay. That side will be a little shorter. Eventually, if you keep doing it, both sides will open up. Now, the other aspect to this is that when you are inhaling, if you're doing this, then you're basically sucking your tummy in and expanding your chest. You're actually not taking a full inhale. So the way to take an inhale is focusing on your tummy. So when you inhale, my tummy comes out, but actually my shoulders stay where they are. My shoulders do not move. Because when we inhale, the diaphragm, which is here, the diaphragm is the separation between the chest and the belly. This diaphragm is like a dome. The moment you inhale, it flattens out. And the moment it flattens, the tummy pushes the tummy out. If you are then you're not allowing the dome to go down. You're actually keeping it up. That's why the chest is coming out. You're actually not taking a full inhale. So ideally, the lungs should fill up, so the dome should get flat and the tummy should come out. So whenever you are inhaling, the only focus should be on pushing the tummy out, keeping the shoulder where they are, okay? So let's do it again. Let's close the right nostril, and we will do 5 of them today, just because we have so many other things to do. So inhale from left, close the left, exhale from right, inhale from right, close, exhale. Do another 4 times on your own. And when you're done, so that is Anulom Vilom. Extremely good for your sinus allergies and also sinus congestion. The second we will do is Bhastrika. It's very warming and it also helps open up the nostril. The way we do Bhastrika is you focus again on the belly. There'll be forceful exhalation. First we take a big inhale, and after we inhale, we start forceful exhalation from the belly. Inhalation will be passive. So in between those exhalations, of course the breath will go in, but it will be quick breath in. You're not actually taking an active breath. It's just happening on its own, and then you will again pump. So it's a pumping action at the belly. We will do 20 of those. Initially, actually, it is very hard to do even 20. So let's do 10, but eventually you can do like a set of 20, then again give a break, do another 20. The reason we don't want to build up too quickly, even if you can do it, because it uses a lot of back muscles. I have had people who get very enthusiastic and start doing it, and then their back starts hurting after a while. So we have to gradually build up the stamina to do it. So you can keep your hands like this. You can again sit in the Vajrasana if you want to. It's up to you. If I were doing in Vajrasana, then your hands can be right here. Inhale. And release. So if I were sitting in this position and doing it, take a break. Again, inhale. And pump. And then take a couple breaths, release them. And this time, let's try 20, okay? Let's see what happens to you. So inhale and pump. And release. So when you do that, now you realize that it is not as, it starts using your back muscle. So that's why we do initially do a few sets of 10. So this forceful exhalation opens up your nostril. The third one is Bhastrika. There are many ways you can do Bhastrika. Some of you may have already learned it. I do it the way I was taught in Art of Living when I did my Kriya, Sudarshan Kriya. But I've seen, different people teaching different ways. But the way I like to do it, you can do again in this position, or you can be in Vajrasana. And I will demonstrate to you once. In this, the inhalation is active. So I keep my hands on the side, and you take an inhale and arms overhead. So back, inhale, exhale, forceful exhalation. Again, don't scrunch your nose, and it's not like, and it shouldn't be coming out from your mouth. It's just from the nose. So. Ten times. Now, if you can do it, let's do one more round because you've other things to do, but let's do one more round. Normally, you can do 10 rounds of, 20 or 10 rounds of 10. It's your, you decide how much you can tolerate. But this is, again, a very good exercise for your sinuses. So let's try again. Take your hands to the side and begin. You can even do. So that's the other exercise. So these are the three exercises that I would say are very good for your sinuses. These are pranayama. Now, the reason I wanted to teach the massage, because really these massages are also very important. So the way we do massages is, let's focus on one sinus first. So this is the maxillary sinus. it is kind of a bony thing with a hole, it's a hollow, bony thing. So that's why it kind of fills up, it has space that fills up. The opening of this sinus is into the nose. And that's why when, the nose gets blocked, then eventually people start having sinus infection, or when they have sinus filled up, then it starts draining into the nose. So we want to open up these sinuses and make sure they're draining properly. First one we will do is use your index and thumb. We will take it to the bridge of the nose. So right here, we will take an inhale. And when you exhale, gently press at that point. Just gently press at that point. Keep it pressed. And this is one of the first spots you're going to do. Right now, if you're not congested, you don't feel anything. But at the bridge of the nose, let's keep a little press. So you can use it anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds. And release. Now we want to do a few more. We'll take the index and the middle finger. We're going to do some massages. So we're going to take it to the middle. And let's gently massage the top of this. So, you feel this bone. This is the top of the, the orbit. And then underneath is the maxillary sinus. So let's just take it around and do it here. Let's do like 5 times. And let's take it here. Again, 1 time. I don't think we have time for 5 times for everything. So let's do it only 3 times from the next time on, okay? So that's 1. So we are doing at the top. Then we do it to the middle part of it. So again, start from there. And let's just take it to the side. So we're taking it on the cheek. So we'll take it to the side and just. When your sinus are congested, this is going to feel so good. Now, we will take it to the, you feel this bone right here, the cheekbone, end of cheekbone. We'll go from there underneath the cheekbone. So and then take it to the side. Let's again go from here underneath the cheekbone and take it to the side. Last time, underneath here. And take it to the side. Now we'll do tiny circles. Actually, let's use the index finger to keep this area much open. So let's make tiny circles at this spot. Let's come down a little bit and make tiny circles. I'm kind of being a little bit firm. Come down more and make tiny circles. So this is how you massage this, okay? So we have kind of massaged. Imagine we are only doing 3 times, but it feels good. Now take your fingers. Let's do the frontal sinus. This is the frontal sinus. When it gets clogged up, it drains here. So we're going to use both the index and the middle finger and go over your eyebrows and circle the side. It always feels good. That's the reason it feels good, because your frontal sinus is full. So when somebody massages your forehead, you like it because your frontal sinus, but you can do it yourself. You can be self-sufficient. We can love ourselves with our own fingers. You don't need others to come and give massage or spend hundreds of dollars. Just use your own fingers and love yourself. Here. So here we're doing that. You can also do where you use your index and your thumb and hold your eyebrows and press your eyebrows in the middle part, and then go a little further out, press your eyebrows. So just press your eyebrows as you go out. So that's another good one to do. Now for the ethmoidal sinus, there's not a whole lot we can do, but what we can do is take this thumb, the soft part of the thumb, and press it gently in the space. You'll feel that little tender spot there. You'll feel the little tender spot. Just press, close your eyes and press that area. And that is where your ethmoidal sinus is. You can give a slight rub there, but really that sinus, that's how it drains. So that's why we need to massage and try to open up that area. So with that pretty much, all the sinus stuff. There's some more stuff that people even do through the mouth, but I'm not going to go there. We'll just try to open up different sinuses. Now I also want to talk about, so if you do the yogasana, if you have allergies, every morning get up and do some Surya Namaskars, do Anulom Vilom, do the Bhastrika and the Kapalabhati, then do some massage to yourself. The other recommendations that I would have for you, if you're having allergies, is when you go out because you're allergic to something in the environment, do Nasya. So Nasya means you put some certain sort of oil or ghee in your nostril. So the ghee is really good for that. So you can take your ghee and just use your, keep that ghee separate. So you make a little bottle of that ghee or a little bowl that you can use it. It has to be covered. So use that ghee and just dip your your pinky into that and put it up on your nostril. So one time do this one and this finger do this one and allow for it to go in, just massage a little bit if you have to, and then step out of the house. If you do not know what ghee is, you can buy organic sesame oil. Again, the ghee also has to be organic. If it is not organic, it's not great for us to have chemicals up our noses. So you can make ghee from organic grass-fed butter, or from the, I buy the milk from the farm and I make the ghee. But otherwise, you can use the organic sesame oil. It's available in Kroger and all kind of grocery stores. And just use that sesame oil. You don't have to heat it or anything. Just use that sesame oil before you step out. So it is a great way to not allow these pollens to continuously irritate you, because the oil or the ghee will act as a barrier. One of the other teas that are very, very good for this kind of a drainage congestion is a herbal tea. The way to make that herbal tea is you use clove. So there are 4 ingredients. Clove will be 4 buds of clove, and the garlic, not garlic, cardamom. Clove 4 buds, or 4, and the cardamom 4 pods, and then cinnamon 1 inch, and ginger 1 inch. These 4 ingredients. Some people will also use black pepper, which is great. Oh, that's my reminder. So those 4, and then you can use black pepper too, but you boil that in 2 glasses of water, and you boil it and reduce it to half. So you're actually going to boil it for some time to reduce it to half, and then you have that. You can have that twice a day, and that is great for your allergies. For this runny nose kind of thing, it is a great thing. This is one of the Ayurvedic tips that I'm giving you. If you like steam, if steam and then like something you want to do, you can do the steamation. If you have eucalyptus oil, you can put eucalyptus oil in the steam, or you can also put ginger in the steam. So you can put some, your ginger paste in the steam and then use that steam inhalation. Ginger helps open up the secretions, helps dry up the secretions. Ginger tea is great, during cold season. So that is another good thing. If you're having cold and sinus congestion, it's not a good time to have cold water or ice water or cold juice or Pepsi or anything cold drinks. It only makes the congestion worse. So warm water is ideal to have. If you guys are having warm water with lemon and honey in the morning, you can continue that. That's awesome to do. Another thing with allergies also is honey, local honey. If pollen allergy is an issue, then what you use is local within your 10-mile radius. If you have a local farm, you can buy honeycomb from there. Ideally, honeycomb is the best, but you can buy, the honey from there, and then you can use that honey every day in your tea, or even have a piece of it, because honeycomb comes in like a box in the local farm, during the summer, and you buy a little more of it, and every day you can use that in your honey, or you can eat it like that. What it does is it gives you a little bit of pollen in a way that it builds your immunity for next year. So I have had people where they use that honeycomb and say they used it in 2020, and then in 2021 the benefit came. So now the body had some immunity to the pollen, and so now they were, it's like introducing a little bit. And so that is a great way to also build up this, resistance to all to pollen especially. So that is, I do not want, people use neti pot a lot too these days. I saw an ad on CNN on neti pot. Neti pot is great for allergies, especially nasal congestion and allergies. But I haven't tried neti pot, and I'm not really, expert on it. So I'm not going to talk much about it. But if anybody knows about it, then that's also very much an Ayurvedic method, and you can use it if you have been using it, or if you know how to do it, or if you have bought it, you can always use it for nasal allergies. So that's all I have for you today. We are at 7:56, and we want to end this here. If any one of you has any questions about nasal allergies or congestion, you can ask me now. And then we will do our...
Did you, Arifa?
Yeah.
Did you not speak about the turmeric at all? No turmeric role in anything?
So turmeric is actually very good for any kind of inflammation. So when turmeric, suppose the cold is coming from more of an inflammation cold. So allergy being different, but if there was inflammation, then turmeric has a huge role in it. And then we can do like ginger and turmeric and honey mix. So if somebody has throat congestion, they could use that. Even with nasal congestion, you could basically be sucking, licking that all day long. It will help you. And even turmeric can be, if you can, for nasal congestion, you can get those turmeric, those kind of, not the powder, but the actual, so people can burn it and inhale it. So that also is one of the Ayurvedic tips, is you burn the turmeric and inhale it. And that also helps with opening up the congestion. So it doesn't necessarily may have as much role if there's not an inflammation, more of an allergy component. In Ayurvedic, we differentiate Vata kind of nasal congestion, Pitta kind of nasal congestion, and Kapha kind of nasal congestion. Vata kind is what I was talking about, but in Pitta kind, turmeric has a big role, which is important.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत. बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.
This is Bharat FM.
Okay, so now we are going to go and do Bhagavad Gita and continue with Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is really one of the best ways to live life, and Bhagavad Gita has a specialty about, is really specialized in Karma Yoga. So let's go into Bhagavad Gita now, the book that I call the most practical book for success in life, whether at work, whether at home, whether in relationships, just happiness. You want a way to happiness, Bhagavad Gita it is. I have read over more than 100 books on spirituality because I was always interested in it, but then of course became more and more, but ultimately I found that I was searching everywhere, but this was the one which had taken from every book. So it seems like every book took from them. So, so a lot of contemporary teachers, everybody's read Bhagavad Gita. So why not go to the source? So we did verse 7 and 8 last time. Let's go to verse 9. This is where we start about Karma Yoga, how to do Karma. So this word Karma Yoga, we should do Karma Yoga, Karma Yoga. But what are the different aspects of Karma Yoga? People have wrong notions about, okay, I'm doing so much work for my family and I'm doing so much work for my kids and my spouse and my in-laws and my, volunteer work. And so I must be doing Karma Yoga. So, and then they're still unhappy. If they are unhappy and if you are telling anybody that, I do so much, still nobody thanks, nobody, acknowledges it right away, that is not Karma Yoga. So how do you know that? Well, let's see the definition. The first step of Karma Yoga is what we are going to start talking. It won't end today, but this is where it starts. So let's start with the chapter 3, verse 9. And I know I can see Surendraji, do you have the book, Sangeeta, now? Okay, Sangeeta, you can read 9. You can unmute yourself and read 9.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. 9. The world is bondage when actions are done just for your own sake. Therefore, Arjuna, make every action a sacrifice, utterly free of personal attachment. Anything you do for the benefit of others is true yagna. Not even a trace should be for your own personal benefit. If some benefit does also just happen to come to you, all right, let it come. Don't be repulsed by it, but don't do it for the sake of what will come to you.
Okay, thank you, Sangeeta. So let's go deeper into this verse because it's a beginning of a very important aspect of Karma Yoga. So the first time the word yagna has been, in Bhagavad Gita, this is the first time we are going to talk about this word. So the Sanskrit, the reason I always go to the Sanskrit is because it is, every English version will be a little different. So we just need to understand where we're coming from. So in translation, some things are lost. So yagna arthat, karmana. So basically, karma should be yagna arthat, for the sake of sacrifice. Anyatra, except. So other than that, so that is what you should do. Except, so loko ayam karma bandhana. Anything, this word otherwise is bound by action. So basically he's saying Kaunteya, which is in the second line, Kaunteya, this world is bound by action except for action done as a sacrifice or in the spirit of sacrifice. So sacrifice is a word, or yagna is a word. If you are from India, then you right away understand there is some sort of a fire ritual that's going on. But then how do we translate into our life? So how do we translate it into when we are doing an action at work? So it is in the spirit of sacrifice. So in yagna, basically what happens in the olden times and even in temples, there will be this, havan kunda or some sort of a fire, and you are going to put something into it. You have decided, I'm going to do a yagna for the betterment of the world, or I'm going to do yagna for having a boy, or in olden times for prosperity or health or progeny, they would do yagna. So now translated into what Krishna is really trying to tell you is it is in the spirit of, how do you do the work? In the spirit of sacrifice. Because if you don't do in the spirit of sacrifice, your action is it is karma bandhan. So now we have to understand what is karma bandhan. What do you mean? Why is my action karma bandhan? What is wrong with it? I'm doing so much good for the world. So we will dig deeper into that. And then the second line says tat artham. So that artham means for the sake action, son of Kunti, Kaunteya, mukta sangha samachara. Samachara means perform. Mukta means free, sangha from attachment. So because this world is bound by action, except if the action is done in the spirit of sacrifice, therefore perform action for that, for that. What is for that? For sacrifice. Just for the sacrifice sake, do the action, free from attachment. So the first thing I feel we need to understand in this is karma bandhan, because otherwise we're going to be lost of like, where is the bondage? Why do we keep saying, you know, world, if you do karma, there is bondage. What is the bondage? You know, it's not like you can see the bondage. If you use the word unhappiness, then how do you determine, you know, like how is that from bondage? So let's look at it. Of course, me being me, I have to do it all visually. So bondage is like this. If I do an action, and suppose I did action A. So I was at, you know, at work, I do one action. I perform one thing. If I am in normal circumstances, I'm a, you know, I can be a great worker. So I'm a great worker. Got it. So I do the action. I'm not in karma yoga, I'm doing an action. Because I am not understanding, it's not done in the spirit of sacrifice, because it is, and we will understand what does sacrifice mean. And because it is, there is some sort of remnant of it. So, and every action will leave a certain remnant. You will have a certain expectation from it. You will have a certain memory of it. You will have a doership of it. I did that action. It went really well. Or I did that action and oh my God, I made such a mistake. One way or the other, you're going to that action A was done at say 10 a.m. And now you're doing it 11 a.m. another action. Karma bandhan, if an action A was done at 10 a.m. and then this is where it ended. When you did the action B, only action B was done. There was no remnant of action A. Then you would not be bound. But what we normally do is, there is effect of this that we carry. So by the time you come here, you have already accumulated, there is a remnant of that. So every action, we carry it as a baggage. If you think about it, everything, I did good, now I'm going to carry it. That feeling that I did good. Or if I did bad, I'm going to feel bad all day within all my actions. I'm going to take it with me. So I'm not going to leave it there. I did that action with all, suppose you cooked something with your entire sincerity. And then, you know, a phone call came and the food got burnt. Now, the action was done with entire sincerity, but something bad outcome came out. That was A action. But when you do the B action and you are, so A was cooking. Now, something wrong happened with it. Now, the B action was you were driving. And in the driving, again, you're driving very sincerely. And you're doing just the right thing and someone rear-ended you. What will you say? Because you're carrying a remnant of it. Oh, my bad luck, or, you know, my bad luck is always bad luck. You know, my kismat is bad. And, you know, this whole thing, everything is bad. Because now you never forgot this action. You're so attached to every action. So now you come to B, you carry that. You come to C, you carry that. So in life, we carry baggage. We don't drop. This is bad, but good also we carry. We carry somebody, I did a good, if I did cooking and someone praised it, even that I'm going to carry to my next action. And now, when suppose someone did good, so you did a very good action, and now the outcome was somebody praised you. Now, the moment they praised you, what came into you? Your ahankar, right? I did it. Hence, I got the praise. So, I got ahankar, right? Your mind has got 4 parts. Ahankar was really satisfied. Now, you go to action B. And suppose your action A went well. Now, you went to B to say your driver license center. And the lady didn't talk to you properly. And you say, she doesn't know who I am. Because you're carrying this from there, you're carrying something from here. Human beings, we were never supposed to carry. So that is one aspect. The other aspect is your every future, your present, everything you're evaluating is through the lens of that past. You don't drop it. You didn't drop it. So now everything is with that lens. So your perception of the future comes from because you never dropped it. It was not done in the spirit of yajna. So it didn't get dropped. Now every time your reality is never actually nothing is truth. Your reality is based on your perception. That's why same thing, 5 people come to the office. One says my day sucked, another says it was great. Everybody was sitting in the same office. Third one, it was like neutral. So there is, we carry karma bandhan. The other way to look at it is if you are a human being who came on earth, I like to draw it, who came on earth completely free, right? You came as a child, you had no work bandhan. And then you start with one action. That action, if it is not done in the spirit of yajna, which is the first rule of karma yoga, it will become a chain around you. So there is, whether good or bad, it will become one chain. All your life, you're just building these chains around you. And then you say life is such a drudgery. Yeah, I am just so heavy in life. Because you have built these chains around you. This is karma bandhan. That is why people who feel so much pressure, then they want to run away and take sannyas, which is what Arjuna wants to do. Because he's thinking, if I run away, then I don't have to face it. But actually, that is why Krishna is saying, that is not the way to escape. Every action has to be done, he is saying, in the spirit of yajna or sacrificial attitude. What does that mean? He is giving you in the second line that it has to be performed for the sake of sacrifice, in the sacrificial spirit, free from attachment. That means I am going to do action A. Now, does that mean if you are not doing with attachment, that you are actually going to be like, I don't care, I don't care about anything anymore? That's not what it means. It's actually the opposite. Every action needs to, if you do every action with 100% sincerity, dedication, devotion, passion, give your 100% to it. You do it. And then, like yajna, you drop it. You let it burn in that sacrifice. In the moment, if the action is done and it's over. Now, that is what free of attachment. The moment you do that, you have basically, what does it mean again, free of attachment? You're not attached. You give the action A. You're not concerned with the result of the action, right? That is mukta. What does he say? Mukta, sangha, free from attachment. So, what are you not attached to? When you say free from attachment to what? What are you attached to? You're attached to 2 things. You're attached to the result. So if I am doing this, like if I am talking on this Bharat FM, then my attachment can be, what is the viewership? How many people see it? So then the action is not done for this and a yajna spirit. then I'm not then I'm going to carry it. Later on, I'll be going on my phone, or I don't know where, whatever way. Comments, read the comments, look the likes, how many people, because I am taking it. That is an attachment to the result. What happens? Lots of people didn't see it, for example. Now I'm sad. What was the point of, so the point was to do this with utmost sincerity, and then like in the spirit of yagna, then only I'll be happy, because the action itself made me happy. The happiness lies in the performance of the sincerity of the act. Now I'm not concerned with the result. The other part of attachment is attachment to the doership. Me and Krishna, which in second chapter, and he will talk again, but in the attachment to the result and attachment that I am doing it. The two types of attachment. I am doing it, hence I am good, or I am doing it, hence I am bad. Like I failed or I succeeded. So attached, Krishna is saying it is in this, do it like how you would do in a sacrifice. You don't have, you just give. So in that spirit, you do it and then you drop it. Then what happens if you continue to do like this? Then nothing builds up. You go from, so here is one action. If you carry it, I like to do another way. First, I'll show you another way. Action A, you have attachment to it. Because you have attachment to it, by default, you will have a memory of it. Now you go to action B, you are again having second attachment to it, and now you're carrying this memory and this memory, you're building it up like that. Now, what happens with this is a human being, if we look at it, suppose this was an action, this is a human being. He did this action. Second action, he did not drop the first one. So now the human being is a little bit tired. He's a little bit curved. Now you've got three actions because he's carrying lifetime carrying actions. Now he's bent over, getting old, tired and old, and everybody has burdened him. And now he's got multiple actions accumulated. He's in the ground. This is one way of looking at it. The human being just act. It was all done with the right thought. Like, I want to be the greatest mother. You know, I want to serve my children. But she did it in this spirit. So now she's old and she's thinking, you know, these kids don't take care of me, and this world is just an, you know, ungrateful place. But if she did every action, drop it, nothing. She could be from the age of 20 to 80, and she would be getting only physically looking old, but her energetically, she would still be as straight. She would still be a happy, you know, those are the people that you see, older people, they're happy. Or you see others who are like in their 40s and 50s and they're tired of life because they're carrying action. So done, if you keep doing actions in the spirit of yagna, in the sacrificial attitude, life will be beautiful, granted, because you will do job. So some people say, right, how do you do so many things? Well, you do one sincerely, drop it. Do the second sincerely, drop it. Third sincerely, drop it. Then go for a walk right after this. So sincerely, then drop it. So you see, you do multiple things. But if you carry it, then what do I do? Because I would have attachment. After this class, I'll go into, instead of going for a walk, what will I do? I'll spend the whole hour looking into phone, how many people attended, how many people not attended. So you see, the action is the same, but the after effect is I'm in one I can carry, one other one I'm light. You see, I'm light. People will still say whatever they want to say, right? So this is where, think in your own life. You already know some people like this who carry and those who don't. And think of your own self. The areas where you've carried it, that's why you are just heavier in those areas. Even if it's a good action, even if it's a non-profit work, you didn't do it in the spirit of yagna. That is the number one thing. Let's go to verse number 10. And then, yeah, let's go to verse number, Sangeeta, you can read it. It's actually pretty long, verse number 10 in this book. Yeah.
After creating humankind together with Yagna, the Creator said, through sacrifice, you will increase yourself and get everything that you want. Prajapati is the word used here for the Creator. Praja means the created. Pati means Lord. The Lord of the created is the Creator. Praja literally means citizen. You are the Praja of the country. But here it doesn't mean only human beings. Everything that exists, visible and invisible, are all Prajas. God is the one who causes the creation. When God created the beautiful Garden of Eden, God didn't say a word to all the plants, fruits, flowers, trees, and animals. God could have said at least something to the dogs and cats, but just created them and allowed them to play around. God didn't even say anything to the snake or the scorpion. God could have said, don't sting anybody. But no, God didn't say anything. It was only when God created humans that God said, my children, don't eat the fruit. Why? It's because only at human level have we been given the freedom to choose right or wrong. So naturally, there should be guidance also. According to this shloka, the guidance from God is, well, humanity, I have created you, and I am giving you the ability to sacrifice, to make an offering. By this, you propagate yourself. Let this yagna or sacrifice be your milking cow. Of course, it doesn't mean just a regular cow. This cow represents everything that you want, you get. According to Hindu mythology, there is a cow known as Kamadhenu. Kama means desire. Dhenu means the giver. Whatever you want, you get. If you have Kamadhenu at your home, all your desires are fulfilled. You simply want it, you get it. So do we have such a Kamadhenu today? We do. It's not that there is only a mythological cow somewhere. No, everybody has been given a Kamadhenu, a boon-giving device. There is also a tree known as the boon-giving tree. I feel that this is the tree that became transformed into the Christmas tree, a tree with all the gifts underneath. It's a boon-giving tree. Just go there, think what you want, and you get it. The great woman saint Avayar once said, even after having gone and sat under the boon-giving tree, if you ask for bitter fruit, that's your destiny. It's ready to give everything, but it won't give it to you unless you ask. And you should know what to ask. Once a fellow went into the jungle and became very tired. He found a beautiful tree and sat beneath it. But the ground was thorny. He couldn't lie down anywhere. How nice it would be if I had a small cot. The minute he thought of it, he found himself sitting on a cot. Oh boy, I have a cot. He lay down. This is very comfortable, but I'm also hungry. I could use something to eat, maybe a banana. Immediately, a bunch of bananas appeared. What's this? He couldn't believe his eyes. It seems that whatever I want, I get here. Then how about some gourmet cooking? Immediately, plates filled with delicacies, delicious dishes, pudding, and desserts appeared. He ate sumptuously and then thought, it would be nice if there was someone to massage my feet, to put me to sleep. Even as he thought of it, there was already a beautiful angel-like person there massaging his feet. He became excited. Oh, it looks like whatever I'm thinking, I'm getting. Now I have a comfortable bed, a good, sumptuous meal, and somebody to massage my feet. But what if while I'm getting the massage, I fall asleep and suddenly a tiger comes from the jungle? What will happen? Immediately he heard the roar, and a tiger appeared and devoured him. What to do with such a person? He was under a boon giving tree. Whatever he wanted, he got. Sometimes people are like that. They can get everything, but they don't know what to ask for. Should I continue? That's why sacrifice was given by the Creator. Don't look for anything just for yourself. Let your life be a sacrifice, yagna. If you use this guidance which I give you, certainly you'll prosper. In order to prosper, the most important thing, the one and only thing, is living a dedicated life. Let your entire life be a sacrifice. That means renounce all your personal interest and personal desires. Live for the sake of others. Sacrifice is the law of life. This is said only to humankind because all other species are already doing it. Everything in this creation seems to exist to be used by others. Their very life is a sacrifice. They live not for themselves, but for others. They are all still under the direct guidance of nature's law. No other species in this creation has the freedom humankind has. In nature's college, they are still under the control of the cosmic law. In a simple devotee's language, every minute God simply tells them what to do and they do it. They never misbehave. Remember, we all lived that life before. During our evolution, we got all the lessons. When we were grass, we learned something. When we became a little bush, we learned something else. When we became a worm, we learned something. We learned when we were cats, dogs, scorpions, foxes, and cows. Sometimes traces from the past are revealed. We hear people say, "Don't trust him, he's a cunning fox." Why? Because that fox-like memory seems to be predominant even in this life. Look at that woman. For every little thing, she barks at others. That part was predominant. My goodness, he stings you for everything. Or, "Don't stand there like a tree, man." We lived all those lives. We all have those sanskars, mental impressions, buried as part of our subconscious treasure. After having learned all that directly under the guidance of Sri Krishna, now at the human level, he says, "Okay, I taught you everything. I held your hand, walked you everywhere, and told you what to do. Now I want to test you. That means I give you the freedom. Let me see how you can use your education." That's what is happening at the level of humanity. I have been bringing you up to live the life of sacrifice, says the Creator. I'm simply reminding you that if you continue to live the same sacrificial life, you will prosper. So if any individual wants to prosper, to lead a comfortable and peaceful life, a life that's headed upward, he or she should keep in mind this question: am I leading a dedicated life? Is my life a sacrificial life? The entire world is a sacrificial altar. We should be constantly sacrificing ourselves. That's yagna.
Thank you, Sarita. Yeah, I think probably with this whole book, this was the longest description among all the verses so far. So I was reading that, I was like, wow, they did make it long. So yes, that's good. A lot of good points there. So let's look at the verse. Some of it, I don't even want to dwell too much into it. Part of it is what I'll dwell on. So Saha Yagna Praja Srishtva. Puro Uvacha Prajapati. So Saha Yagna means with sacrifice. Raja means all beings. Srishtva means after generating. Pura means in the beginning of creation. Uvach said Prajapati. So here the Prajapati or the creator, the Brahma, he said in the beginning of the creation, after generating Srishtva, I mean after generating Praja, all beings with sacrifice, that's when he said, Anena prasvishchadvam, esha. So, anen means by this sacrificial attitude. Anen means with this, by this. But by what? Because he's talking about the sacrificial attitude. By the sacrificial attitude, you will prasvishuddhvam. May you evolve and prosper. Basically, may you advance with this sacrificial attitude. These esh va astu ishta kam duk. And the Kamaduk is that, we all read about that Kamadhenu. For this shall be, so may, after generating all beings with sacrifice, Prajapati said, by this sacrificial attitude, may you evolve and prosper, for this shall be your Kamadhenu, this shall be the Kamadhenu for your desires. This should be the Kamadhenu. What should be the Kamadhenu for your desire? This sacrificial attitude is given as the Kamadhenu for the desires. So, again, the question then, one of the question, first of all, in this comes sacrificial attitude. People understand it very wrong. They think my life should be a sacrifice. I mean, I went through that too. When I first read Gita 5 years ago, I'm thinking, okay, my life should be a sacrifice. I mean, somehow I have to live either very simple life. I have to start wearing some white clothes, some no makeup kind of deal, just become. Or I have to work like beyond my capacity. I mean, day and night, I have to sacrifice myself. I have to lay down. I have to give up my desires and such. That's not what it means. He's talking about every action done in the spirit of sacrifice. So if I am doing only one action one day, it's not about, oh, I get up at 5:30 until night time, I wash clothes and I do this and I do this and I do this. Oh my God, my life, I'm sacrificing myself for my children and my husband and my family and that's not. Or I'm at work, people at, some people are doing this at their job, just going, really overstretching themselves and really making, hurting themselves in the process. That is not what it means. Any work. So you could be doing one thing in a day, and that one thing has to still be done in the spirit of sacrifice. That means in the spirit that I am, the results of it, I am doing it for the action itself, because this is my swadharma. Right now, if I wake up and I want to do yogasan for 1 hour because I know that is good for me, then that is my swadharma in the moment. I'm going to give my 100% dedication, time, devotion to that hour of exercise. If you're going for a run or whatever, if you are going to be doing meditation, then you're doing that with full devotion. Even that is done in the spirit of yagna. I mean, you're doing that action not with the result. I mean, the sense, I'm going to meditate because I want to be enlightened, or I'm going to meditate so that in the afternoon I can tell my friend, I meditate every morning. I'm going to meditate because I want to become something. I want to be stable. I want to be peaceful. I'm not peaceful. Oh God, I can't focus. Even that is a result, attachment to result. So you're doing every action. Then you go around the day, you go to work, or you are at home, you're cooking, you are cleaning, you're sewing, you are, taking care of children, changing diaper, whatever you're doing. Or your child has gone to college and you're running around for them. One action also has to be done, every individual action has to be done in the mode of complete sincerity, and then let it go. Let it go mean you're not going to wait for what is going to come out of it. The action itself gives you the joy. Will something come out of it? Of course. The most common thing people say is, oh, if I do it this way, then what about me? I need to earn money. I need to do this. I need to be successful. What about me? What about my desires? This is where the universal law is yagna, which means the more you do, it is the kamadhenu of your desires. So the more we perform in the process of yagna, it will, unfortunately, human being doesn't want to understand. They're selfish. So there is always like, maybe 10% I should do for myself. 10% only. Okay, 90% I'll do for other people. 10% for my own. No. If you do 100%, you will actually in the end get 100%. But people are doing community service for recognition. So they are not doing community service for community service. And then what if they did 100% for community service? Will they not get recognition? They'll actually get more recognition. But because they are doing it, but thinking, okay, I'll do all the good things. But you know, in the back of the mind, I mean that inside, it is an inside. It cannot be outside. You can't wear white clothes and show I'm sacrificing. You can't be busy at that community service to show I'm sacrificing. It is an inside thing. Only you know how corrupt you are or how pure you are. Nobody can know. Only I can know if I am conducting a yoga class with purity or I'm conducting the impurity. Only I will suffer because of it, and only I'll be peaceful with it. And the result of it will automatically what is going to come. So if I perform at work with 100% sacrifice, like 100% doing the action, automatically money will come because people will like the job. But if I do it thinking, you know, that my mind is divided. I want to help the patient, but actually I want to get out of the room too. Then I'm never 100% there. You see, for every little action, if you want your children's respect, but you are doing, if you do 100%, you know, your child, your son or your daughter is in, you know, some sort of a distress, say in college, they're in college and they're going through something, and you make that 100% sincerity. You're not looking for thank you from them. You're not looking for anything, you know, I'm raising my kids so one day they'll take care of me. None of that. You're just doing it for them. Don't you think they will actually respect you in the end and actually be taking care of you when you're old? But actually, if you keep doing it with that expectation, then you actually will be, while doing it also, if they end up saying something wrong, I do so much for you, still you talk to me like this, right away. Because you were, while doing it, your expectation was in return, I should get respect. But you won't, don't you think that if you just did it, you would? But you're always this exchange, you're dealing, you're in the constant mode of corruption. I'm going to do something because I want something. So I want respect is also a want. It is also an attachment because first of all, I am doing it. I'm the doer. And because I did it, I need something out of it. In money or in something, you know, something out of it. So that is what is the first step of Karma Yoga. It's very, very subtle. It's not actually on superficial. One can be walking, a fashion model can be walking a ramp, and she can be doing that with 100% Karma Yoga. She could be wearing this flourishing gown, and she has decided that this, I am going to make this designer look the best on the stage. She's working for him. She's not, you know, it's not about her. He picked a certain model because he wanted to showcase a certain kind of attitude or culture with that kind of a figure. So she does a certain makeup, and her goal is to do the best so that the audience can see the best angles, the designer can look the best. In the return, because she'll perform well, she'll get the, so she can be in Karma Yoga in that. And some yoga teacher who is doing namaste and doing all the right thing, or some guru is doing something, may not be in Karma Yoga. Somebody is doing serving in homeless shelter and not in Karma Yoga. They are coming home and saying, having 10 complaints about the other people that they were working with, because they were so focused on what they could get out of it. Why does everybody now, so and so spoke so well about her, but she didn't say, I was there too. Versus that, so karma yoga is subtle. You will know when you're in it and when you're not in it, because you will get the benefit afterwards and not afterwards. And how you will know is like this. If I were to say, and I like to give this example, if you are age 40, for example, there are two people age 40 thinking about sacrifice today. One person decides, you know what, from today, I'm going to start doing every action in the spirit of doing it, giving it my best, dropping it. Doing it, giving it my best, dropping it. And the other person does not understand sacrifice. They're good people, they're not bad people. They do not do it with that sacrifice attitude, but they're good doing all. They don't even understand this concept. This person after 40, life goes on, now they're 80 years old. What do you think is their energy? Because we have 5 bodies, right? We have a physical body, that is the Annamaya portion. Then we have the energetic body, right? The Pranamaya portion. That energetic body does not shrink with age. Your external physical body may have osteoporosis, your physical body may have wrinkles, your physical body may bend, you may have knee pain. Your energetic body doesn't. So person at 80 who has been living a life of sacrifice is full of energy. You meet them and they think life is beautiful. They have always some good thoughts to share with you. You go spend half an hour with them and they will be talking of something wonderful. They are just happy. They are here, they're not carrying any baggage. So this person has enthusiasm for life, even at 80. And we have seen many, look at even Ayurvedic teacher Vasant Lad. He's like so old, 70 plus. I look at so many like that. Till the last minute, they're working, they're so older. What are they doing? They are living this first chapter they have learned of Karma Yoga. Now this person does not learn. They're doing all the good action, but they're living with attachments and all the memories. They reach 80. Their energy is actually much heavier. For them, life is, golden years is not so golden. Life is a lot with burden. There is an underlying tiredness in them. They're tired. Their energetic body, their pranamaya kosha is tired. It's not like they were bad people. They just didn't understand that you need to keep dropping. So whatever, this is why we see when older people, because we are all going in that direction. We have reached 40 or 50. I mean, all of us are, reaching, I'm 48. So, we're going to be reaching, only getting older. So we can, at 48, I can see somebody at one level of energy, another at 48 is a different level of energy. What is the difference? At some point, I learned yagna attitude, the sacrificial attitude to perform action, and the other one did not. That is one of the biggest. I can do an action and drop it. Art. It's not magic. We were not taught that. We were born with it, but we were conditioned to actually get attached. This is your marks, and you do it, and you are such a good this. You're such a good. So we learned that we started owning everything. Good and bad, we are owning it, but we start dropping it. And whenever we hold on, it comes to our conscious. Once you start becoming conscious of it, when you get disturbed, if something doesn't go right, you will have an ability to evaluate. So Krishna is not saying, because in the second chapter, there was one verse, even a little bit of this will help you. So if you have not, you don't one day, suddenly today will be able to drop everything. Maybe you think you can drop it. And you're thinking, okay, I'm starting to drop it. I'm doing in sacrificial mode, I'm doing it right. And then something goes wrong. That's when you realize you're actually still attached. Because you want everything to happen, but you want everything to happen right. That's also, you want everything for me to happen right. outcome has to, because you're still attached to the outcome. And life will never give you that. So that's why life always has these negative aspects, so you can see where your attachments are. It's good. So then you see, then you contemplate again, and drop it. Gita is less about, first time you guys are listening, those who are listening for the first time, you listen, but then eventually Gita is about contemplating when the situation actually comes in front of you, right? The other way to look at it also, I like to draw it is, and this one I think, used before. Let me make sure just a couple more. Is this X and Y axis. If this is age, and this is the degree of lightness, I like to use lightness, because lightness is, if a human being is here, if they live with us, because the growth cannot be just, what happens with age? We start making, maybe, becoming, when you're 20, you're going one job, then you start making more money. So people start thinking success is this way. Success is actually this way. How do you go from here to here? So you are also more successful on the worldly plane, but more successful on the spiritual plane too. This person, if you start dropping and start doing actions in the sacrificial mode without attachment to the result and to the doership, your journey from here will be towards here. Life will be beautiful. So human being, they are also making money. This other human being who does not live sacrificial is also making money. They both are millionaires maybe. But this one is happier and this one is sadder. They're thinking life is just, the world is out there to get you. Everybody, it's a cruel world. It's a mean world. Life is a burden. You don't know. People are like this. And this person is saying, well, hey, life is just beautiful. So life can never be in one dimension. And invariably, if you're not living consciously aware of what is happening inside you, you rarely ever go from here to here. You either go down or you go up. Because we are not doing what we need to do, because karma bandhan will keep happening. Your bondage will increase. So there can never be that you were started, in your 20 here, and then you became a millionaire and you're at the same level. It will never be. Because you're doing action, your actions will either take you down or they will take you up. Gita just helps you take it up through the mode of action. So karma, you're still working. So sometimes that is another concept, right? Spiritualism means you got to be poor. No, vertical plane, horizontal. So if a person is, in this lifetime is say, cleaning lady, she's also going to go from here. Now her here financially maybe at maybe 50,000, 80,000, 100,000. Another person becomes a millionaire. That's not the point. Is based on what is your swadharma you will reach, right, in this lifetime, where you're born. If some kid is born in some situation which is very poor, their point is going to be different. But we can choose whether you are a person, a plumber, a business owner, a guru, a sadhu, a sannyasi. You still can choose this or this path. You'll never be straight. So that's why it's important. So this is the first step in when we talk about karma yoga. That's why he has given you the first glimpse. Yagna, do in the sacrificial spirit. Everything, every action, not just the action that you do for others, but even I go for a walk has to be in sacrificial spirit. That way you perform and then you drop it. You don't carry it forward. That's how you can do so many actions in a day, because you're not carrying it forward. And then if you, like some people will walk for a few days and then they'll be like, oh, I walk every day, I haven't lost the weight, because they were attaching something to it. I'm giving you sometimes very stupid examples, but that's how also people are attached. But you walk because that's what you know you're required to walk. Somehow you have your Krishna is within you, right? Your Krishna has knows the Swadharma. It is the Krishna. We're not talking of this God Krishna somewhere out there. This Krishna is inside you, the voice inside you, that spirit inside you knows what you need to do. So when you do it in the spirit of sacrifice, not owning it. Okay, that's any questions, any concerns, any thoughts? I know we are really cutting close. So those were, I thought I had really, again, as usual, like this, and as usual, I find some days I succeed and some days I'm like, oh shoot, I'm disturbed again. So time to evaluate. 2 days I'll go in disturbance, and third day I'll be like, okay, time to drop this one. I was too attached because maybe it was my daughter I did something for. So we just have to constantly be aware. So Gita will become so effective when we contemplate on it. And contemplation also does not need to happen in isolation. Like you don't need to sit and contemplate. When you do an action, when you feel an emotion after that, good or bad, if you feel pride, then evaluate. If you feel sadness, then evaluate. So that's how you evaluate. Okay. Now, what I would say is let's do Anulom Vilom. Yes, I know we did it at the beginning, but that was to teach you when you have sinus congestion, when you don't hold it. But otherwise, we have been doing Anulom Vilom. You can do inhale for certain number of count. So if you have never done it, hold it, inhale from left nostril for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, and then hold for a count of 4. So you can keep that number. If you're doing 5, you do 5, 6, 7, 8, wherever. Eventually we will reach 10. And then once we reach 10, then we will shift it because because actual exhale has to be double, but we won't start there. Once we reach that 10, then we will do a different way. Then we will start decreasing it again and doubling it. So let's do it. I'm also going to make myself silent. You can take one deep breath in and out, and then start. We'll do just 5 rounds. And then Okay. So anyone, any thoughts or any questions? So then we will continue next time, verse number 11 and 12, which also is about yajna, a little more explanation. So, and then we will do, if you have any other symptoms that you want to do asana and Ayurvedic tips about, we can do that. And we can combine all the pranayam, because yoga really has, and Ayurveda has a lot of things that it can offer. So with that, let's call it a close. So namaste everyone.
Thank you.
This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत
This is Bharat FM. This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत
Okay.